Welcome to Tea Time with Kitty. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Giving everyone a second to get all logged in so we can get started. Um Hold on, let me grab my cell phone 1 second. Because everyone likes to, hey sister, likes to send me messages on the phone as well. And we'll be getting started in just a second. Hey Shamika, yes, time for some tea. Time for some tea. We're gonna have Yanni pass some tea out. She's over here. This is like her second favorite place, like mine too. But welcome. Hey sis. So before we get started, look you all. Hi sis, thank you for joining. Yes, thank you. So as you all can see, today starts tour season, right? It starts tour season today. And I got my hair dyed red. So normally I get a rinse. I get a black rinse. Uh, Thank you. I normally get a black rinse. Of course, I got to get adjusted on me because I'm not really a fan of colors, with dark skin. But I gotta normally get some rents. Hey Donald, but this time it took forever. I had to get it like lifted, and of course I don't do like a lot of hair dye and stuff. Thank you. So I don't know like a lot about hair dye. But it was a process. It was long. She told me it wouldn't be that long again if you was to get the roots touched up or anything. Um, but I'm liking it. I'm getting adjusted. I can't wait to take it to the beach with me next month to celebrate my birthday. Y'all know K Day 47 starts on May 1st. Tour season starts today. Little Mill's checking. Okay, Little Millie. Yeah, so getting it ready for my birthday. And most importantly, thank you all for joining us today and checking in. So today we're going to talk about a little bit of different things. So the topic, as you can see, is it wrong? Do you disagree? Or I don't know. Hey sis, hope all is well. Christian, we're on tea time. We can't take your call right now. You have to text us. So and so or does it matter? I think that's what it was. I have to go back and look at the chat. You look at it. Okay. So we're gonna be talking about yes. So we're gonna be talking about things that has happened in the media. And you know how people like to talk about things in the media. And we want to know, or is it something that we just disagree with? Or it doesn't matter. So the first topic is it was this mom. And if anyone's familiar with this story, you can always just chime in because someone kind of gave the story to me. But it's a mom, and she was recently married, and she married a man. Oh, thank you, Dayon. She married a man that had a history of cheating. I don't know if it was like underage girls. If anybody knows the story, they can kind of chime in. But he had a history of cheating. So her adult daughter lives with him, and this is something that someone is struggling with. I know for some of us, we go, "Oh, I want no cheater." Nobody wants a cheater, but when you love someone, those those things are mediocre to something because like you may say, hey, I don't want to cheat and I ain't dealing with a man that cheat, but you may got a man that steal every dime in your bank account. So wrong is wrong. So we have to stop looking down on one another and make sure we lift each other up and build each other up, period, with that, right? So and be careful what you say you don't want or you won't take because you may find yourself in that situation, right? But anyway, going back to the lady, she forgive this man. I don't know if he cheated while they were married or before they were married, but whatever the case may be, he had a history with cheating, right? So her adult daughter moved in late 20s, early 30s, and knows that her mom's, of course, is not her father, is the mom's new husband, and it is not a husband that has grown up around her or whatever. She's only known a man a few years, like her mom. But the daughter, oh, okay, got it. Okay. Yes, Johnny. Thank you, Trail. So the mom daughter, late 20s, early 30, continues to walk around the mom's husband in half shirts, booty shorts, um, anything you can think of that's provocative or inappropriate for a young lady to be walking around with in front of any man for that. So especially if it's a woman that you love and respect, you shouldn't be doing that in front of that person's man, right? So what are your thoughts on that? Should mom tell the daughter that if she don't stop, she needs to leave? Because again, this is not your 14-year-old daughter. This is your daughter in her late 20s, early 30s. Like, what is your take on that? Is this acceptable behavior? I know we have males on the line as well. So is this behavior acceptable? Like, really, should this daughter, and I'm thinking that maybe mom confiding in her daughter what the husband went to, that part of the information I did not get. But I just want to know, like, is that something that should be confide, should that be something that the daughter should be doing, like trying to basically provoke her mother's husband? And if you were in a situation or just giving advice, what would you think? Would you tell your daughter, hey, if you don't stop this, you're gonna have to move out? Because a lot of people is looking at it like, hey, well, that's your daughter. Make him get out. Well, no, because he's not the one that's acting. And cheating is not the worst thing in the world someone can do, especially if the person was of an appropriate age. I do not think it's acceptable. Let's see. I do not think it's acceptable. Um, if she wants the freedom to do that, then maybe she should evaluate her living situation and more. Okay, so Dayan is basically saying that if she don't want to stop wearing what she likes to wear around the house, then maybe she should get her own place. So what are your thoughts on the tea timers? Do the daughter need her own place? Is the mom overthinking it? What is your thoughts about that? And it could be, definitely unacceptable. I'm the only one walking around in my house with little shorts on. Exactly. So especially if her mom's not doing it. And since the man is struggling with that and mom has tried to talk to the daughter about it, I don't know if giving it the full story, but should the daughter respect that? What are your thoughts on that? Especially if it makes him uncomfortable, right? Because he voiced that he's uncomfortable. He's not a relative of hers, and it's better that he says something than acted inappropriate. Right, right. So it is good that he says something to his wife about it and feel that it makes him uncomfortable and inappropriate, because he could have just acted on it. And then if he had told the daughter or said something like, I like those shorts, then society normally turns on a man, right? Normally turns on a man, because he's normally the villain in most situations as such. Is there anything else where we give another example of, and I just felt a little crazy. Okay. Yes, her daughter should respect not just her mother, but herself. I like that, sis. She needs to also respect herself, because even if this man didn't have that history, it's still clearly disrespectful, because, hey, my grandmother and mother always raised me that a stiff one don't have conscience. So to put herself in that situation is totally wrong, right? This is clearly disrespectful. Clearly disrespectful. So just trying to be mindful of the things that we sometimes are encountered with, and so that we can get like a better understanding. Because, like, again, some things are just truly wrong, or some things you may not agree with, but may not be truly wrong. So we're going to get ready to go into another example. Let a few more come in. The daughter should feel uncomfortable to even walk around the house like that. Exactly, exactly. Will not tolerate this. This should not be not have been stopped. Should have been stopped a long time ago. And I totally agree. Another thing that you sometimes encounter, if you don't have a daughter with this behavior, but you can sometimes have a son's girlfriend, so you have to be mindful of any energy being brought into your household, because anyone can be tempted. Anyone can be tempted. And I'm definitely not advocating for cheating. I just feel like none of us are perfect. And sometimes we fall short in different types of ways, right? I respect him for saying he's uncomfortable. I have a friend whose daughter did the same thing. Wow. And her husband acted on it, and he was having an affair with the daughter. He had the affair with her, it looks like, for 4 years. Oh wow. So the mom found out. So did she divorce the husband? Oh my God. Did she divorce him? Wow. So and also, Tasha, um was the daughter of age? Because I know you said it went on for like 4 years. Was the daughter like a teenager, a young adult? I'm hoping that she wasn't a kid. And if it went on that long, it probably was willing. The mother is still with the husband. Wow. Okay. Forgiveness. Okay. Okay. Never sending any judgment in any type of way. Well, I hope the daughter ain't with the husband. And goodness gracious. Okay. Yes, she was in her 20s when he met the mom, the daughter. Um. Oh, okay. She was about 10 when he met her. Oh, wow. So he's known the little girl as a child. Wow, and yes, she is still with the husband. Okay, okay. Where different people have different levels of unforgiveness. I don't know about that one, but because I mean, like 10 years old, like he kind of raised her from a child. That's kind of spooky. Um, Mom probably did it to her mother. Say, oh, okay. So you think the mother probably have that kind of have that same behavior? Or mad at her daughter now. Oh, wow. And a lot of times that happens. And a lot of times that's why a lot of people don't come forward and tell because of that. So, right. So that's what I mean. Like he says he was basically watching her grow up. Wow. Wow. That is extremely sad. And I know like my cousin Trail on the line, she doesn't have to worry about that because she doesn't have any daughters right now. But even with your sons, so when she settled down and married, you have to make sure that your sons are not bringing their females through your house being inappropriate, like wearing those types of things around your husband because your husband, whether you're married to him or not, or if he's head in that household, he's the king of that household. So everything needs to fall under that, regardless of how anybody else feel. They need to respect your union. Well, let me say she's mad, but she's forgave him, but won't forgive her. Oh, wow. And let's just spend just a second there before I get into the second one, because, when you think about forgiveness, like, I honestly feel like if she forgave him, she should have forgave her daughter. But some of you on the line may disagree with me. Like, and I see it happen all the time where not just a daughter per se, like, you've had, like, I have a friend, I have a best friend, and my best friend slept with my boyfriend or my husband. I continue to stay with him, but I don't forget my friend. If you all can help me out with that and just spend a few minutes there, what does that look like? And Chucky, I want to hear from you from the male perspective. Like, what makes a woman forgive the man but not the woman? Do anybody have any idea what that comes from? And I get it if it's somebody that you don't know, y'all not friends and all this kind of stuff, but I'm talking about like people have lost friendships over that, like years of friendship. Like she stays with the guy but she's no longer speaking to her friend. What does that look like? Like what type of forgiveness? Because if you're going to forgive someone, you're supposed to forgive wholeheartedly. So what does that look like? Okay, so you think it's the fear of loneliness? Okay, so I appreciate that from the male perspective. So you think that she say, "Hey, I can get rid of this good girlfriend. I can find another one of her, but I may not get this guy again." Okay, because a woman see men as the prize, and they see the other woman as being the reason, as if it doesn't take two. Wow, wow, being alone. Wow. Okay, okay. So they definitely may have these feelings and know that it's wrong, but it's like misplaced anger. Like I'm just going to leave the anger right here, right now. Maybe because she doesn't want to lose the benefits coming from him. Right, right, right. A stiff one. Yep. To prove a point to the okay, and to prove a point. So like, yeah, you cheated with my man, but you don't get to have him like he's staying. Wow. Wow. Because I already always wonder, I hear so many. I just thank God I never had to lose any friends. Let me knock on all types of wood. No friends, no family that I ever had to lose. And I had suspicions of things that happened for people that wasn't like truly my man. But I'm just glad that I never had to lose, because that right there would definitely put a sour taste in your mouth about how you feel about women and sisterhood. And, probably would have gave me a different point, a different look on life. So I'm glad that you all helped me clear that up. So the next topic that we're going to go into is um, there was a rapper in the DMV, and he lost his life. I think to violence. Not totally sure. You all can chime in. But the part that I'm speaking on, because I'm not try to focus on like too much of negative on tea time, but his family, and I'm thinking his family, um, gave him a funeral or maybe a wake. I didn't follow the total story, but what caught my attention is how disrespectful people was being to this man's family, right? And to my understanding, again, don't know all the facts. Some of y'all may be aware of the story, but you're done with both. I like that. Right, yes. It was at Bliss nightclub, and to my understanding, from like some of the photos I seen, it looks like they had him standing up on stage, and didn't witness it myself, but I seen some photos and heard some hearsay. But and people kind of like really went in on his family and was truly, truly disrespectful. So let me just say this. I've heard some stories of some people feeling that it's what he wanted and his family honored that, right? Not sure if that's totally the case or what happened, but my whole point of it is because I disagree with something, it doesn't necessarily make it wrong. So I want to hear it from you on that, right? Because I disagree with something doesn't mean that it's necessarily wrong, right? So what I mean by that, with that being stated, is his family should not have been disrespected the way that they now. Now, me personally, I'm old fashioned. I don't even believe in wearing red to, like sometimes, now I will red to my little cousins funeral. Rest his soul. He just celebrated his heavenly birthday yesterday, as well as my twins' mom's oldest twin, Shamika Donald mom, birthday was yesterday, her heavenly birthday. But just getting back to that, like I'm kind of old fashioned, so I do now do the color coded thing. Like, so if my loved ones or whatever are wearing red because that was Tavon's favorite color, and I know for my sister, her father-in-law, we did green. But I know like coming up, I only wore black or gray, maybe dark blue to a funeral. I was never someone who, walked up in a funeral with an orange or a red mink coat or whatever. So that would have been something that I wouldn't have done, right? But does it make it wrong? Because for them to have really tore down that man's family the way they did, um, I think that it was, so unfair because yes, I don't agree with it. Definitely can admit that I don't agree with it. But I can't say it was wrong either because I want to know what is wrong. Like what like wrong in a sense is someone's opinion, right? So even though you may not do something like, for instance, when Yanni was younger, I let her wear half a shirt. Everybody would tell me, ain't no way in the world my daughter would have no half a shirt on. This, that, and the other. She gonna be too grown. Yanni had her first child at 27. And all those persons, of course, no judgment because I was a teen mom. Daughters had kids way younger than her, right? So I was just like open with that, and I do get like now I probably wouldn't do that. I'm older and wiser, but even though it was wrong, even though someone may not agree, doesn't mean that it was wrong. It's to each his own, is how I feel. They had his funeral at Blitz, standing up, look real. However, it was disrespectful to his family, what they said. Right, what they were talking about him saying. Like, and we all know that most funerals or wakes are in a casket. I had seen like over social media where they had people like a man up playing a guitar, and he was the deceased person. And I've seen stories like that, but I just really want us to kind of like not take things to heart, because if we really look in our laundry bag, if we really look in our closet or our backyard, we sometimes do some things that people don't agree with. So do people have to tear you down because they don't agree with it? Because when I think of wrong and you been charged already twice with drunk driving, and then you drink the third time and you hit somebody and take somebody's life. Those are what's wrong to me. Now, if I don't, like, because it took me a long time to get my hair color, right? Because of my complexion. But if I want to be real dark skinned with real blonde hair, I'm going to laugh at you, right? But is it really wrong? Like, so I think that we sometimes mix up what's wrong with what we don't agree with. So I just want to hear from you all. What is your take on that? Is your wrong based on something that you would or would not do? Like, is that how you judge your wrong? Or sometimes are we just kind of like crossing the line of like almost minding people business? What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Sometimes we're just crossing the line. Like, is everything that we disagree with, is it truly wrong? Is it truly wrong? Oh, and let me make sure I give my boo a big shout out, because I host tea time here. But more importantly, he hosted Easter dinner for my family, and it was wonderful. My kids pretty much are always with me, so they all came over, and we really enjoyed a nice dinner. So I definitely want to give a big shout out to that. Um, but I am still waiting on you all while we're waiting. And I want to know, what is your take on it? Like, do you get like caught up? Because I've seen so many scenarios where people have done things and people like really got into, like even down to the Will Smith and Chris Rock situation. And different people disagree on how the things different way. And I definitely understand. But I want you all to give me an example of when people are crossing the line. It could be about when somebody allowed their child to date. It could be like how they feel about their kids going to school, like kids not attending school. It could be so many things, but I just wanted to use that as a prime example because I want to know, what does that look like when you all think about it, as opposed to, you know am I just over the top with it and minding people's business a little bit, or is this really something that would affect? Because I look at it as, if it doesn't affect you, that saying that they say, like, if what they eat don't make you shit, why worry about it, right? But I just want to know, like, what is your take on that? Like, would you see yourself as acting out someone's wishes in your family, that truly, if that's the way they wanted to go, would you be one to act, to make sure that their wish is followed through? And should you be scrutinized for that? So what are your take on it? Just because I don't agree with it, I'm not going to disrespect the fact. Exactly, sis. And that's how I feel. Like, because I definitely did not agree, but I don't think, I mean, people were saying all things about his family. Like, it was horrible. I wouldn't allow them to have my child like that. But I also wouldn't bash the family either. But they actually said it was his mom who planned it, because I'm thinking that a lot of times if someone's not married, I think that it goes back to their parents. The control over it, don't really know. But to my understanding, it goes back to the parents who do the planning if the person is not married. And then some cases it goes to the children. I'm not sure how they weigh that out if it's an adult child. But like, so yeah, you wouldn't do it. But like, they were just really bashing this family about that. And sometimes things may not be necessarily, may not necessarily be wrong. You may just not agree. Yes, his mom says she didn't want anyone looking down on her son. Oh, wow, I didn't hear that. Okay, deep, deep, deep. Which is why she put his baddie on stage. I heard that was what he wanted, right? And that's what I heard too. That was what he wanted. And his family kind of like. So I want to hear from you all. Would that be something like, if your child told you that? I know Trust or she ain't doing it. So forbid, nobody wants to lose their child, and it could be not only a child, it could be a family member. It could be so many different things. But would you honor somebody's wishes with that? Like, like, because I try to make it clear to everyone I know now, like, I don't want to be cremated. Like, I have a phobia, so I hope that, if something happened to me, all my policies will be remained in place, so I wouldn't have to go that route. But I definitely don't want to be cremated. Like, like, it's just, and my uncle, that was his wishes, and his siblings made sure that it was done. But like, with me, like, I'm terrified of fire, so I associate that with fire, right? But some people want that because you get to save people ashes, and get to have it with you, right? Um, Okay, so Yanni said I wouldn't do it probably, but I would let them know before. Okay, so I can respect that. So something that someone's wants, like, nah, you ain't getting this, right? People have problems with them twerking on the deceit. Hold on, they were twerking. Is the same situation? He's No, they wasn't twerking on them, right? Oh my gosh. Oh, for an example. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Because you look at all the negative attention his homegoing guy, I would not want the negative energy surrounding my loved one. Exactly. Okay, so she was giving that example, but then you said, okay, maybe they were right. But I'm hoping, so Tasha, were they twerking on him, or you was giving him an example? I need to know, because wow, like, I don't know. And I know that one of my friends had a we one of my friends passed away, and they played Rare Essence at her funeral at the end. And hold on one second, the cord came out. Sorry, you guys. And they played that, and and it went viral. And me knowing her and how close we were, like, that was her. It was at the end. I didn't see anything wrong with it. And I think anybody who want their wishes to go out with a bang, I'm just one that just try not to have a problem with things. Um, I've learned to have my own opinions, but don't say right. And my thing is, you can sit back and chat it because I'm gonna say something. You're like, oh, sister, did you see? But I mean, but just to go on air and just kind of like, because at the end of the day, people are still moaning, and we don't know people's situation. You don't know if that was the mom's first time losing a loved one. It was just like, hey, like, hey, I gotta hold on, I have a message coming in. If I can get it, if I can get the message, someone's message. I think people get used to things they were taught being normal that they forget everyone grows up different. Exactly. It's very important and do things differently. What may be normal for you may not be normal for others. Okay. Right. And that's very, very, very important. Culture differences. Like we look at it a lot of times as race, but a lot of times, depending on the area that you was raised in, things are done differently. So I just experienced that having a guest over, right? Some people do things a little differently. So I definitely respect that. Um, exactly. I feel at the end of the day, it was me to treat his family like that. Definitely, they're going to be looking down on him anyway. Right, right. I mean, even to the gravesite, but everybody. The movie drag. Okay, the movie drag me to hell where they celebrated in the house where the old woman was dead in her casket. So my guess it has been done way before this. We just never seen it. Right. So I definitely had seen it on social media that people was doing it. And you said the movie called Drag Me to Hell. I'm gonna have to watch that. We're gonna watch it tonight. Drag Me to Hell. Never heard of that. And they celebrate. My mom wanted to be cremated, but I didn't agree. But my sister made sure her wishes was correct. Right. And my uncle wanted to be cremated, as I was saying, and my mother and them, pretty much made sure that it was carried out. Like he had been saying that since he was young. And I think that, like if you're a person, sometimes you want to make sure this is the last thing you can do. And I know that's what touched me by my little cousin when she was preparing for her nephew's funeral. Like this is the last thing that I can do, the last time to do something special for that person. So however they wanted. So that's why I'm telling y'all, got some good insurance policies. Definitely don't want to leave here. I want to get old. I want to nag my kids. I want to be problematic, all those types of things to my kids and grandkids. So I want to be around a long time. But Lord behold, I know some people don't do the GoFundMe or whatever. If I need to be buried, even if y'all don't give me a funeral, give me a burial because I do not want to be burned up. They were partying and dancing and twerking on him, so people felt as that was disrespect. Oh my gosh. I don't. Oh my God! I am still kind of scary of deceased people. Like since a young kid, when my grandma passed, I kept staring at her in the casket. And I could have sworn I seen her moving, and I'm telling you, I must have been probably 40, if not late 30s, before I would ever go up to somebody's casket again. I never came to the wake. I always came at the end, sat down at the back of the church and did the service and paid my respect, but never would go close to a casket again after that. So my thing is, I see people kiss and touch and feel. I am not that person. The most you're gonna get out of me is they put them away really nice. I have gotten to the point, I think, for my cousin Yvonne recently, I think I did touch her hand. But like I am scary down. They always tell the dead can't do nothing to you. But that's just me, and I ain't ready to move from that. So my thing is, I'm definitely not the one that can be all touchy feely. Some people can kiss and all those types of things. So to be twerking, oh my God, these young adults are so right, exactly. Wow, we are about to wrap up tea time. I did say that one topic that I want to share with you all, and I think that we're going to do it next week. Yeah, we're going to do it next week. And because I want to get it out the way, because I want to talk about it before Mother's Day and Father's Day comes. So it's definitely going to be the topic for next Wednesday. And we're going to talk about absent parents. And we're not just talking about absent parents from your child's perspective, but hey, sis, but we're going to talk about absent parents. That's my sister. But we're going to talk about absent parents for us as adults. You know what I'm saying? Because with children, of course, if someone's absent in our child's life, it hurts. We have all these answers or whatever. But let's talk about having an absent parent And we're adults now, like how we're dealing with it. I want to hear, did you get over it? So next week we're going to talk about having an absent parent. Like, I love my mom to pieces, I love my dad to pieces. I never was raised in a household with my dad, I never lived with my dad, so some people will consider that absent. And we're going to talk about what is absent, like what is absent, because you may feel like, some adults may feel that, although my dad did not live in a household with me, or my mom did not live in a household with me, because there's tons of people who have two absent parents, and they live with grandparents or aunts. But like, what does absent mean? So, and I want to hear your definition of that. If they wasn't in a home and you didn't wake up and go to sleep to them, does that make them absent? Or do you know of some parents who lived in a different household, but still was present, right? And I don't want to hear from it from the child point of view, because we talk about our kids, it can get very emotional, because we never know what stage someone are at. But I would like to think that as adults, what did that look like? And even if it didn't affect you, you may have a story of a sibling, because like I said, when I talk about it, I want to share about my experience versus my brother's experience and how we see things. And that is okay, because I had to understand that, who are you to give a time on when someone should get over something that they missed and can't get back? So please join me next week for tea time. If you know someone that may have dealt with an absent parent growing up, and they're an adults now, because believe it or not, and I'm going to be doing a forum with my church, some members from my church on Saturday, because a lot of times those kids, I'm sorry, let me rephrase this and slow down a little bit. Those parents who were absent in the children's lives, once we're adults, we're the ones who tend to have to care for them, right? So you ain't taking me all my childhood. When I needed you, you wasn't there, right? But now that I'm grown, I gotta take care of you. Some of us can do that. Some of us say, I'm a forgiving person, I'm gonna step in, I'm gonna do it like it ain't never. Some of us like, I am not about to take care of somebody that didn't take care of me. So I really want to get your feel on it, right? But right now we're going to get ready to wrap it up and sum it up. And make sure you all put that topic out for me if anybody want to come, and I want to get it off our chest for April, so that we can look to a positive Mother's Day, and we can look to a positive Father's Day, and recognize that it wasn't our fault, and we're moving on from that. So thank you all so much for sipping with a sister. And I look forward. I watched the mom and sister interview, and they said that's what I've always wanted, so they don't care. Oh, wow. Thank you, sis. Okay. So thank you all so much for sipping with a sister, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Bring your suggestions and ideas, and let's have this tea.